Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Breakdown with Hansen and Brown. I am, of course, Hansen, and with me today is my co-host. The other part of the title of the name, it's Brown. It's Joe Brown. Joe, how are you today?
I'm doing just fine, David.
Yeah, no problems whatsoever. You're doing just perfectly fine and
No
nothing's
problems. Rolled out of bed like this, no problems whatsoever. Logged onto this call. Easy.
wrong? Wow.
Seamless.
What a
Amazing.
great day for Joe Brown.
Yeah.
What a great day to be Joe Brown. And what a great day to be you, audience member, because you get to see us talk with the incredible Camille Steahly. Camille, how are you today?
Hello! I'm doing just dandy. How are you?
I'm splendid. Thank you for asking. Joe didn't ask. You did.
Thank you. I try to reciprocate as best as I can.
Oh, stop it. Anyways, Camille is another one of our friends from our hometown. She graduated with us in our year and just finished her freshman year at the Miami University, right?
Yes, sir.
University. Okay, I didn't know if it was
In
University of
Ohio.
Miami. In Ohio,
Ohio,
important
David.
distinction.
Not
Don't get it
Florida.
Beautiful, beautiful school out in the wonderful state of Ohio.
Wonderful state.
Wonderful state of Ohio. Camille started as a mathematics, or was it statistics major?
Math and statistics.
Math and statistics. But has since transferred into mechanical engineering.
Yes,
we have
sir.
another engineer on the show.
Which
This
makes
is
I got
what,
you.
Three? We had 3 engineers on the show before.
How
I think
many
that's 3.
mechanical?
Never a mechanical. 2 aerospace.
This is so exciting.
Not only
Thank you,
that,
guys.
but she went from a major that was like mine, Joe, and said, "Oh, this is not
It
as
is-
good as a
Nah,
major that's
math is
like
not as
yours."
good as engineering.
This is boring.
I love it.
So
Vindication.
add that to the point for Joe. Like if we're keeping tally
I'm
marks,
keeping tallies, yes.
it's like
Yeah,
50
one
for Joe. Oh,
50?
one for
There
I
was
like that
that-
better. 1 for Joe and 100 for David.
I think there was that one time where we asked you a risk question, and it was like, now it's time for actuarial science, man. And then like every other time, it's just been straight points for the ginger.
Nice.
Boo to me
It's
losing
okay.
points and
You'll
boo to
catch
you
up
being a
one
ginger.
day.
Thanks, Camille. What a good guest. She puts faith in me. Joe only shoots me down, but Camille builds me up. Anyways, Camille, enough about us and our toxic friendship.
Aw.
We gotta shift the spotlight to you because you're our guest and we only have so much time with you.
That's okay.
So Camille, how are you? How have you been spending your time back home ever since you came back from college?
I have been spending it in a lot of ways, none of which include a real job, so I apologize to my parents. I work about 2 to 3 hours a week as a personal swim instructor. It's very fun, very low responsibility, and when I'm not doing that, I am starting Grey's Anatomy like 10 years too late and working on my pilot's license.
Wow.
Pilot's license, really cool. Grey's Anatomy. Everyone dies.
Hey,
I know.
spoilers.
Everyone, no matter who you love in that show, they will die at some point.
I don't get how a show about doctors can have so many deaths within the
You
main
would
characters.
expect that to not be the case.
Yeah.
Why
Yet
did the
there are
doctors die so much?
a ridiculous number of tragedies that happen within that hospital. There are 2 different mass shootings, a plane crash, a couple different people get cancer. Somebody gets hit by a bus.
Spoilers.
Stop it! No! Oh my god. I'm only at season 4, so you can't get
You've already
too
hit
deep
like
into
3
it.
of the things that I mentioned. Then, if
I
you're on
know, but
season
I
4.
don't want to know the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I feel like the mortality rate among the doctors is worse than the patients.
It's pretty rough.
It's not great.
Being a doctor at Seattle Grace is not good for your health.
No.
I guess to be fair, they do a great job with their patients.
Sometimes.
Not with their own life. Well,
Sometimes.
that's
Yeah.
fair. But enough about a show that came out so many years ago. I'm more interested in, because I think this is pretty unique and pretty cool. Camille is well on her way to getting a pilot's license.
Yeah, it's taken me a while. Had some complications along the way, but I will probably be taking my final check ride in about 1.5, 2 weeks.
Wow. And then what comes after that?
Then I fly places.
And
I
you
can
get the
actually
license?
bring people, and then I get the license.
That's
and then
it.
I can
Wow.
take you to brunch in Wisconsin just for fun.
In your private charter.
In my rental Cessna
Oh,
172.
okay. I think that's so cool. I just the thing that's so like whack about piloting, and you can speak more on this, is that like when you are trying to get your license and you want to go practice and fly a plane, there are so many conditions that can just keep you from it. Like,
Oh, most definitely. Like today, even I had to watch out for the weather because right before I got to my lesson, it was overcast and storming and like really heavy downpouring. And then 10 minutes later, when I got to the plane, it was perfectly clear and we had an excellent lesson. So it's things like that. It's things like time conflicts, money. It adds up very quickly. All sorts of things, like even mechanical issues can kind of mess with your schedule. So you got to be a little flexible when you're trying to go for the private pilot's license.
And correct me here if I'm wrong, but is there a connection between your choice to go into mechanical engineering and your love of flying? Because I imagine being a pilot requires a pretty decent technical knowledge of how a plane works, so the two definitely overlap.
Yeah, a little bit. When I was younger, I thought I might want to go into aviation as a career. And, as I got older and I went to school and started studying and taking actual classes, I decided that wasn't really the route I wanted to go. But I've always been really interested in like how planes work, how things work. So that's kind of what drew me to the mechanical engineering and the flying. But they don't necessarily overlap, but they do relate, which I think gives me an added benefit when I'm trying to do either.
wow. Yeah, that's so cool. I love how like something completely like, I don't know, when you think of mechanical engineering, you think very like physical, like hardware, um, pistons. I don't know. Joe can speak more onto that stuff, but you think, like you're building stuff like that. But like, yeah, piloting is a lot of like, if your machine doesn't work, you don't want to be in the air with it. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of fun because in my mechanical engineering class back at school, our final project was supposed to be build like a 5-foot glider, and it was a competition between different groups in the class. And unfortunately, since we had to be sent home, we had to complete it with through simulations and different calculations. So we didn't actually get to build the glider, but it was kind of fun, like having that aeronautical knowledge prior to starting the project and then being able to kind of work with that and work with people that had other expertises and come up with some interesting designs.
I absolutely feel you on that one. I had a final project for a class that was building an RC car, and we built half of the car before we got sent home. We had to do the rest of it simulated. It was
That's so sad.
disappointing.
Yeah, I had math problems where I did them at school and then I had to do
Then
them
you
Do them at home.
at
did them
home.
at home while not wearing pants. Not much.
Hey,
Just became
you're
woke.
not wrong, but don't expose me. Camille, the other thing is like, it's time consuming, yes, but it's also like, it takes a lot of like courage, I guess, to get up in a plane for the first time, and like you are the one that is holding onto the steering wheel, like you are deciding the path of the plane. What made you like, what really got you interested in flying? What helped you overcome that like fear barrier?
Honestly, the fear barrier was not really there to begin with because I kind of got thrown accidentally into it. I don't have a super cute backstory or anything, but my neighbor is a private pilot, and he was flying myself, my dad, and my sister around the Chicago area and then Wisconsin a little bit, and we just kind of did a loop-de-loop. And my dad let me sit in the co-pilot seat. And so my neighbor's like flying, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes, hey, no hands, and like, let's go. And I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat like, what the heck, are we gonna die? He's like, no, it's fine, just like hold the yoke. And so he was teaching me how to control the yoke so you don't nosedive into the ground. And how to balance the yoke and the power and everything. So that was my first experience with flying. So there was really no time to be scared about it because I didn't know it was going to happen until it did. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I like that. I feel so like some people would have been in that situation and been like, no way, nuh-uh. You're just like, okay.
I was just like, what else are you going to do? Like, this guy's saying fly the plane. Fly the plane. Okay, I guess.
Crash the plane, fly the plane, or crash the plane.
That too.
I'm super jealous. Super jealous. I didn't even get in a plane for the first time until I was 16 years old. My mother's definitely afraid of flying. We didn't fly anywhere. Yeah.
Where did you go? Do you remember it?
We went to, the first time I ever flew in a plane was like 3 summers ago. My family went to Seattle. And it was the first time we had convinced my mom that it would be more worth it to fly there than to drive there.
Because that's far.
Your life. Yeah, well, it was, it's kind of a backstory that you would expect. My mom and dad, their anniversary is September 20th. And they had like an anniversary trip to Maine planned in 2001 that got canceled for obvious reasons. And after that, my mom never got on a plane again for the next 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've just never been in a plane my entire life.
I don't blame her, but actually flying is statistically safer than driving a plane, like in terms of getting in an accident.
See, I brought this up to her many times because I also really
want driving a plane or driving a car?
Driving flying a plane, because Zoom, fly, is safer than driving a car on the ground.
Okay.
Now, have you ever, Camille, or would you want to go skydiving? Because that's on my bucket list.
Yes. Most definitely.
Because skydiving is also statistically safer than driving a car on the highway, which I pointed out to my mother because she doesn't want me to go.
That's a little horrifying.
I request that you don't fly a plane and go skydiving at the same time. Is that reasonable?
Got it. I think that's a fair request.
Cool.
Unlikely to end up hurting you.
True.
Maybe not physically, but financially.
After you jump out of the plane, it's unlikely to hit you. Yeah, I guess if you don't care about the plane, you might end up having to pay for it.
I feel like that's something we shouldn't find out.
Only one way to find out.
It's not going to be fun when you jump out and think, it's heading off that way. Wait, why is it turning?
Why is
Yikes.
So where do you go nearby for lessons? Like how would someone interested in flying planes, like where would they start?
I actually had someone ask me that recently, like a week or two ago, and there's a couple different places in the Chicago area, which is really nice. One place that's closer is Schaumburg Airport. You can go to Northwest Flyers. I used to go there like junior, senior year, but they have a couple less planes. It's a little bit smaller, but they're really good. You can also go to the place where I go now, which is DuPage Airport. You can go to Illinois Aviation. They've got probably 10 to 15 Cessnas that you can rent, lots of instructors, really good plans to keep you on track. So it's totally feasible. Like if you have the funds, you have the knowledge and the desire, I think anyone can definitely do it.
Hear that? Anyone can fly, Joe.
Anyone can fly, unless you're colorblind. Sorry.
Or if you're just regular blind because your hair gets covered in your eyes, you might want to tie it back, David.
Or just regular blind.
Period.
Hey. Well, it's 2020, David, okay? We're not out here disparaging the differently abled, all right? Anybody can fly a plane if it is their dream. You can make the plane controls in Braille, all right, David?
Anyways. So, hold up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Just wanted everyone to know that I am the world's first blind commercial airline pilot. And this is my first ever commercial flight. You are all about to witness history.
We are heading southwest, I believe.
I would get off the plane.
Yeah, we are headed up, I have been told. Don't worry, I have one of the stewardesses standing right next to me. She is going to be my eyes for this flight.
So as long as you get a medical from an FAA certified medical doctor, then you can fly.
You just have to
Oh.
trick the doctor into thinking you can see. Got it.
All right, Daredevil, slow down there.
I like it.
Hey, Daredevil's echolocation is better than human sight. Probably also while driving, like in a plane. I'm sure.
Probably wouldn't want to fly in the plane. Anyways.
Maybe.
Camille, I think also what's cool is that you found time to do it while also being obviously a student, a full-time student. Because I think it's pretty hard to like go to school for a full day, do what you want to do after school, and then, oh, I got to go fly a plane. So I assume you probably did it on weekends, or?
I actually flew mostly in the summers because I did sports and theater in high school. A lot of my after school time and even weekend time was taken up. And it didn't make sense to do like one flight every 2 to 3 weeks if that was all I could do. So that's why it's taken me so long. I've kind of taken these little hiatuses in between summers, and, you know, I get close and then I have to backtrack, and then you can't fly a lot in the winter because of weather. So, you know, it's like we talked about earlier with all those hurdles, it's just one thing after another. So in a way, not having many commitments this summer due to COVID-19 kind of helped with the with my flight schedule.
Yeah, I've been a tired high school student. I would not want a sleep-deprived high school student flying a plane.
No, me neither.
Like on a typical Thursday in the middle of the school year, I was probably only like 40% awake for most of the day.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Don't know how we did it.
Here's what I found though. In the summer, it's not like I went to bed any earlier. I just slept longer.
I was gonna say you can sleep in later.
Yeah.
You can just sleep in. Then you get to college and it's like I can set up my schedule so that I don't have to wake up at 6:30 every morning. This is amazing.
Did you guys get good schedules, or do you know what's going on for this semester?
From what I heard, we might have to change ours in case some classes are augmented.
Yeah, U of I said they're going to be announcing which classes are changing in which ways, and then they're going to give everyone tickets to adjust their schedule. I'm hoping that it just means the lectures get removed from your schedule because they're just going to go on.
That would be nice.
That would be pretty nice, because I have found that professors don't appreciate it too much when you show up in person without pants. But online, they don't know.
Online?
They don't know. They can't tell. They don't care.
They don't know. Yeah, you know, what they don't know can't hurt them. So, yeah.
2020 is the year of David.
2020 is the year of no pants. I'm gonna let it all hang loose. I'm gonna get nice breeze, and we're gonna move on from this conversation before I say something
awesome.
Is actually, while we're on this topic, I think I told David there was something I wanted to talk about real quick because I found it and I think it's amazing. So COVID-19 is like changing everything, right? Like everything has to be set up in a certain way. And I had this thought, so I looked it up earlier today on the CDC. What's Halloween going to look like this year, right? How are we going to send little children from house to house? That can't possibly be allowed. And so I went on the CDC's website, and they don't have specific guidance on it yet, but I can just imagine like putting a mask inside of like a mask, like you have like a zombie mask and then a mask on the inside of the zombie mask. Little kids, like everyone has to wear a masked costume this year or some garbage like that, handing out candies.
That's so sad.
Listen, all the Elmer C moms are pretty creative. They'll come up with different costumes where they can put a mask over their kids.
Or maybe, I don't know.
Or they'll complain about it, one of the two.
Or just complain about it, yeah. There was a guy, like, around the corner from where I grew up that used to sit in his second-story window, and he had a chute that went down to his doorway, and you'd yell up to him what kind of candy you wanted, and he'd drop it down the chute. He had, like, every kind of candy. I think everyone could just use, like, a chute. Like, no more in-person, like, trick-or-treat. It's just like, oh, hey, kids, here, I'm sending some Butterfingers your way, and then send them down the tube.
That's too cool. Are you sure this man is real? Like, did you see him ever?
Yes, I did. He was the best because he had every kind of candy. So we'd show up and he'd pop his head out the window and he'd be like, what do you want? And you could request anything and he'd give it to you in a king size. I don't know what to be fair, I never requested anything other than a Three Musketeer. So maybe he didn't have everything.
He only had Three Musketeers. Kids were like, Reese's. He's like,
only had,
no.
I know he had Snickers, and I know he had Butterfingers, and I always asked for Three Musketeers. But aside from that, I guess, I don't know. I could have asked for Hershey's and he'd been like, oh, sorry, don't have any of those. Never checked. Which is like, I've gotten some weird stuff for Halloween in this town. Like, imams are crazy. Like, people hand out like carrot sticks. People hand out like fruit.
I love like after Halloween when you all go back to someone's house and you play like candy poker, and then
that's the best. Because then you have like when you have weird stuff, like the trading value is interesting. Because there was a guy who used to hand out cans of soda.
Yes.
Like, a can of soda is kind of at an elevated value compared to everything else because of its scarcity. And I also, oh man.
And because it's a can of soda.
But the sodas were usually off-brand.
That's true.
So they were like,
that did diminish their value.
Jewel market. And you got the lady that's handing out apples, you know, trying to help.
Never take an apple or anything unwrapped.
Never take an unwrapped apple.
That's
a good lesson.
They got razor blades in them, you know, the parents,
oh yeah.
The parents.
Have you ever seen the post online about the person supposedly handing out whole rotisserie chickens to children for Halloween? There was a post of like some guy was like, I bought like 17 rotisserie chickens and I'm going to hand them out to the first kids that show up. And then there was another post and it was some guy's like, who gave my little brother a rotisserie chicken? Wait, actually, okay.
Was it cooked or was it raw?
Like no, like
a rotisserie chicken
like a ready cooked, like a ready cooked rotisserie chicken in the plastic.
Right. I know what a rotisserie is. I just didn't know if they like, you know, gave it to them in a pre-sealed box and like, cook this when you get home, kid. Don't eat it raw.
A raw rotisserie chicken.
Okay, wait. So in terms of trading value, David and Camille, where would you place, let's say, standard candy, let's say Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Let's put another one in there, let's say Snickers. And then let's throw in soda, apples, rotisserie style chicken. How would you rank those?
Rotisserie chicken's the top.
Number one rotisserie style chicken.
You gotta go with that. I really liked, did you say Three Musketeers? Was that an option? No, Reese's.
I put in Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I feel like that's a pretty standard.
Reese's are number 2 because I could eat those all day, and like chocolate and peanut butter are my favorite things in the whole wide world. And then Snickers.
On my desk. Reese's
and then soda.
Okay.
Then soda, then apple, because I would always get like weird grape soda, and I didn't want it.
But you put the rotisserie chicken at the end, or no, did you put it at the first? And then
no, that's like number 1. That would be incredible.
Okay. That'd be awesome. All right, David.
For me, for both the candy bars and the rotisserie chicken, just like in real life, size does matter. So if it's a king size, then Camille just no. If it's a king size, then you know I think it bumps above the soda. But if it's like one of those fun size one, I think soda comes too.
Okay, so the Reese's, let's say it's well, normally they hand out the single buttercup, right?
Right. In that case, it's a can of soda.
So let's say like a single peanut butter cup definitely wouldn't rank over a can of soda.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just a single peanut butter cup.
Okay, I agree to disagree.
Wow, I'm trading with you next year.
Okay, great. Let's do it.
I'll go trick or treating.
So no on the fruit, David? Apples aren't tickling your fancy?
No, I don't want any unwrapped fruit. I don't want that because I don't know what they're putting in my fruit.
No unwrapped fruit. Okay, but what if it was like apple slices, like in a bag?
That's just disappointing, I feel like.
Yeah, that's not great. Well,
like they're kind of good.
I would throw it back at the person and call them a dentist.
Okay, well, assume that like you know that the fruit is okay. What is the fruit that you would actually like to get for Halloween? Is apples up there? Or would you be going like, I want a banana for Halloween?
Apples would be up there. If you're going to give me a fruit, give me something rare. Like, give me
mango.
A dragon fruit.
Like kiwi? Like someone's handing out kiwis for Halloween?
Kiwi wouldn't do it for me. Kiwi's not enough.
Yeah, kiwis are okay.
Passion fruit? Maybe. I want dragon fruit. If they gave me a dragon fruit, I'd be like, oh, lit.
What about like a nice blood orange?
What's a blood orange?
No.
Wait, what's a blood orange?
What's a blood orange?
Yeah, what?
Dude, it's like an orange. It looks like a grapefruit, but it's an orange, and on the inside it's red.
What?
You've never seen these?
How big is it?
Blood orange?
It's like standard orange size, like a navel orange, not like a
God.
cutie. Yeah, they're gorgeous and delicious.
What? Oh, that's
my
cool.
phone's not going to show up. I have virtual deck.
Oh.
Oh, I disappeared. You could kind of see.
You guys,
What if I look it up?
I've been reminded that I actually have one more peanut butter egg, Reese's peanut butter egg.
The eggs are better.
Eggs, I disagree. I think there's too much peanut butter to chocolate ratio, but they're okay.
I think the ratio is better that way.
I agree. I like
Ding,
eggs.
ding. Okay.
I've
I've always thought that mini M&Ms are better than regular M&Ms. I think it's because of the ratio of candy coating to chocolate.
You're lying.
Blood orange.
100% telling the truth.
It does look like a
I think the mini M&Ms are sweeter.
Mini M&Ms are better.
What? No.
Yes.
Yep. Plus, you can just like down them.
That's
exactly.
the problem.
No, that's
It's
the
like
fun
you just
part.
drink them.
No.
Exactly.
I don't want to drink my M&Ms. I want to enjoy them.
No, I think it's fun.
You're done. You
like,
end up with the fun little container, and you can do this. You can go.
Don't start with me, Joe. Don't start with me.
You can also put quarters in them. They
And
fill
then
up with quarters really nicely.
And then give them to feed my starving children. Not a sponsor.
Bill, that's where I got this. I used to fill this with quarters for Feed My Starving Children every time I went. It's got a Feed My Starving Children tag on the side of it.
I used to do that too. Aw.
Oh.
That's why I don't randomly have like a container of mini M&Ms sitting in my room for no reason. Just because
you should.
That reminds me, I have to do an ad read. We haven't had one of these in a while, but
you have advertisements.
We have a sponsor.
Advertisements.
Yeah, today's sponsor
Everybody wants to get an ad on our show.
Today's sponsor is Feed My Starving Children. Hey, have you ever wanted to feel like a good person, but you're not exactly quite sure what you're doing, but you know it's good because it involves food and children in Africa, so it's probably a good thing, right? Come on over to Feed My Starving Children. You can just put like the little protein powder in a bag and throw some other stuff in a bag. You don't know what it is. Maybe it tastes good. You probably shouldn't lick it though. And then you're going to send it off to kids in Africa and they'll get full bellies. Yum. Okay, thanks.
I have tried it. It's actually pretty good.
Feed My Starving Children. Come on down.
Sometimes they make up a batch of the manna and give everyone a taste that you know what it tastes like. It's pretty good. It's like chicken flavored rice. It's like creamy rice with chicken flavoring.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's exactly what the people who rank us. We're top ranks among organizations that give food out to children in Africa. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Feed My Starving Children. Actually, Feed My Starving Children is a really great cause. I don't want to make fun of them. I just like doing fake ad reads. And thank you. That's the end of the ad read. That was word for word what they sent us.
Yep.
Amazing.
And we did that.
We've had some great sponsors on this show.
We volunteered that one. They didn't give us any money. We just donated our show airtime.
We donated our time.
How excellent of you.
In a way, we're heroes. All three of us.
Kind of. Yeah. A little bit.
Could be said.
Could be said. I would say it. Now, Camille, back in high school, you did everything. You mentioned it earlier. You were not only a pilot, you were also, kind of a jock. You were an athlete. You did theater.
For 3 seasons.
You're also quite smart up there. You were taking pretty tough classes. So you did everything. So when you went to college, how did you decide what you wanted to do going forward when you had so many interests in high school?
Man, I had no idea. And for like the first semester of school, I really just kind of bounced around a lot. I didn't have any set clubs I really like until I found the flying club. And then I was actually voted into the vice president position this past semester. That was very exciting. And it was really weird. Thank you. Going from high school where I did theater like all the time, blah, 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 that's your life, to school where I wasn't a part of anything first semester. So kind of on a whim, I tried out for the play, not really expecting much. And then I got a small part like around winter break and we did it over Zoom.
Ooh, what play was it?
we did Comedy of Errors, Shakespeare, and it is on YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty
very ironic.
Yeah.
We had about 3 rehearsals in person, and then we completed it on Zoom. Most of it is on YouTube. Miami University, Ohio Center for Performing Arts.
That sounds like
if you want to view it.
Go look it up.
It's a treat.
I'm gonna check it out. Just check it out. Yeah.
I will be doing that afterwards.
Yeah, a little bit of a promotion. But yeah, it just took me a little bit to find things that I knew I already liked from high school and the people I wanted to be around. And once I kind of figured that out, flying club and theater became the best options.
Right on.
Right on.
And I think that's a lot of people's worry going into college, is that this is something I really liked in high school. What if I don't enjoy it when I go to college? Or what if I don't find a good group like I had in my previous school? Or maybe some people are like, I hated high school. Anything could be better than this.
Yeah.
Either side of the spectrum you're on, there is like, as long as you find something you enjoy, you'll find like-minded people. And I think,
most definitely.
yeah.
Or what if you come from a high school that's theater program did shows such as Les Mis, West Side Story, and brand new releases, Bright Star and Tuck Everlasting, only to show up on campus and find out that the theater group on your campus is doing Carrie the Musical, based on the Stephen King novel.
Well, first you would reflect on why your high school in a mainly white suburb did West Side Story, but then will be disappointed in Carrie the Musical. Why is Carrie a musical?
I have no idea, but that's what U of I theater troupe did this last semester.
Well, then you're grateful that you didn't do it over Zoom, and that's how you deal with it. Oh, man.
If they did it over Zoom, it would have been incredible. How are you going to pour? You have, like, Carrie's mom pours pig's blood over her, like, from her desk chair.
Oh, my God. Well, we used puppets for a portion of it as well.
Oh.
We all printed out and colored our own puppets, so there's a chase scene.
Oh, did you guys you could have like coordinated it so that it goes from screen to screen? Like you have people like title it, so they're running from scene to scene. That is now I have to check this out.
I don't know if that scene's up yet. But that was one of my
just
my
puppets
features.
running across the Zoom call from screen to screen. That is incredible.
We have to wait for episodes, like a mini series.
Yeah, they come out every Friday.
Oh my gosh.
So there might be one today. I don't know.
Well, now that I'm done with The Mandalorian, I guess I could, switch over to my second favorite stream show.
Lovely.
Or Dayton, not Dayton. Miami.
So, maybe you got nothing better to do.
Wow. I love the idea of coming out every Friday with a show. That's a great idea.
Isn't that fun?
That is an amazing concept. And it would be even better if it was like live stream every Friday, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be
boy.
Like you're a part of it.
As long as
we could not do it live stream.
You get to watch.
I think Joe means as a concept as a whole.
Yeah.
I think, any show that's live streamed every Friday. The only problem is they would have to be pretty committed, and actually do it every Friday. And
every Friday, 100% committed, not skipping Fridays 2-3 weeks in a row. Actually getting on the air. And to be fair, if you watch it live, you might see stuff that doesn't end up in the recorded clip because somebody that's not a redhead might occasionally censor the clips if he feels like
Huh?
Are you censoring our
Everything
internet?
I censor is sent to Joe because I don't have the editing skills or software to censor it.
David doesn't actually censor anything. He just tells me what he doesn't want in the clip and then I edit it out.
Rarely have we edited stuff out. There was one episode we just didn't publish.
One episode didn't air, and there's one episode that David cut like 20 seconds of.
Was that Bridie's episode?
It was Bridie's.
And
I think it's really hard to see where the cut is.
Inappropriate.
David said something stupid, I think.
I said something stupid.
Okay,
cut it out.
That's all that happened.
Understandable.
It wasn't anything inappropriate. I wouldn't have been canceled, but we just didn't want it in the final product.
Yeah, it was just
it remained a mystery.
I think it's hard to find the cut. If you watch the episode, I think if you're looking really hard for it, you might find the cut, but I think it's really difficult to notice where I put the cut.
Game for our listeners, if you can find the cut and send it to us, we will give you a big prize of a high five.
I would love to give a high five to anybody that
can
virtual
high
five.
Virtual high five.
In these times.
I'm sorry.
Virtual elbow bump.
Wow. That was just inexcusable of me. Anyways, moving on.
I'm going to look for it now.
Oh, please. And we will be looking for your show.
Okay.
Comedy of Errors.
7:30 is when another show should air. So
Yes. Also, to be fair to Illinois, who we were mocking for Carrie the Musical earlier, they did put on a show of Cabaret right before we had to go home. It was in the spring semester, and it was amazing. So,
But that's kind of cool.
I enjoyed that, yeah.
theater department, if you are looking into UIUC and you're interested in theater, it's pretty good. You know, we don't always do Carrie the Musical. You know, sometimes we do Shrek the Musical.
Sometimes, hey, Shrek the Musical is a quality musical. Won a couple Tonys.
That's fair. That is fair. But also,
That's pretty
it's
good.
based on a
But
movie.
why?
It's based on a movie that's favorite joke is a fart joke.
Because it had Brian Darcy James and Sutton Foster in it, and it was pretty awesome.
Fair enough.
You put Sutton Foster in it, it's gonna win a couple Tonys.
My
It has
100%,
to.
my favorite like nerdy theater thing to bring up, because it's like such a like shocking thing to hear, like just a weird sentence, is the Cat in the Hat from Seussical the Musical is largely based on MC from Cabaret. And I will bring that up in any theater conversation.
Two very different shows. One
Yeah,
very
but think about
Dr. Seussy, and the
Is
other
it
one
really?
about the Germany.
Think about it. The two characters are almost identical in terms of like the way that they narrate the show and their mannerisms.
Right, but one works at a club,
And the other is the Cat in the Hat.
and the other is the MC from.
But the Cat in the Hat in Seussical as a character was largely based off of MC.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Is,
I guess you could see some parallels.
Yeah. I guess
One could
draw,
maybe.
you know, a couple lines, you know, a couple felines. Okay. Joe, do you have any more questions for Camille before we move on to the final part of our show?
What's my deepest, darkest secret, you
What
ask?
is your deepest?
what is Camille Steahly's deepest, darkest secret?
Is it that? What is it?
I don't like college football, and I want to stop pretending.
All
Does
right,
Miami have D1 or D3 football?
we're ending the show now. Right now. This is it.
I don't know.
We're deleting this recording. Joe, you're gonna have to cut out Camille saying it, and then it's fine. No.
That is, in
It's
terms
because-
of the standards of episodes we've not aired, you not airing an episode because Camille doesn't like college football is pretty funny to me.
we got paid. I want to say I might be lying, so disclaimer. But I think it was like a few $1 million to lose to the Ohio State, because it was like 573 or something.
Hot take. David loves Ohio State. Ohio State's full of
I know.
scoundrels,
No,
David.
we wouldn't do that.
Full of
That's not
scoundrels.
No,
true.
but you did. You did.
No.
You
Full of
did. It
scoundrels.
happened.
Oh
Google it.
Full
no.
of scoundrels. You want to know what
To be
school's
fair,
not
we're
full of
not good.
scoundrels?
Hmm?
The Notre Dame. My school that I don't go to that I root for.
Hold on. No offense, Camille, to your football team, but I don't think Ohio State had to pay them to beat them.
No, they didn't, but they're suckers. So they did.
So Miami's like, pay up, and Ohio State's like, fine. Sorry.
That's
the
why
Ohio
Miami is
State
like,
And we're talking about a school that tried to trademark the word the.
the. Try to
the
trademark the word the.
The.
Ohio.
State. Thank you. All right. Well, in that case, then we're gonna get to the. Why do I do that? Why do I do? Well, in
What-
that case.
in
why do
that
I do
case.
What is with my voice inflection recently? I go blah 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 blah.
It's fun. It's quirky.
Oh, quirky, haha.
Tee.
I'm pulling back the curtains a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of voice inflection. Ooh, wow, so cool.
Ooh,
Anyways,
so natural.
the last part of our show is called Sticks and Stones to Pay Your Loans. It's a little game we came up with. Joe's happy because I got the name right, even though I started a little bit. Joe, why don't you explain the rules?
Sticks and stones to
Pay
your loans?
The game is simple, Camille. We are all students in college with student debt hanging over our heads as soon as we graduate, and we would do a lot of things to alleviate that student debt. So, the game works like this. We create a wacky or realistic, just unfortunate, funny kind of situation that you would impart upon the other people. And if they choose to accept that condition, they get all of their student loans paid. Examples have in the past included my all-time favorite. Every week for the rest of your college experience, you get blindside tackled randomly at some point by a member of the Alabama football team. But at the end of college, you have no student loans. In order to get all of your student loans paid off, you have to agree to live in the state of Indiana for the rest of your life upon graduation. David, what have been some of your favorites?
Oh, where do I start? I think, did you talk about the one where you're forced to live in Indiana?
Yes, I got that one.
Yeah.
There was Evie Nudera once made one where for the rest of your life you had to clean out Harvey Weinstein's colostomy bag.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
That's
I don't
good.
think anybody took that. I would never take that.
I think I offered one where you would have like, I don't remember. Was it googly eyes or something like that?
I don't know. Mike Bindeman once said it, for the next 10 years you have to wear tap shoes, and apparently the only concern that David and Mike had was that it would be really difficult to potentially murder someone if you always had tap shoes on.
If that ever came up.
They have a point. They're not wrong.
One of my personal favorites was I'm trying to remember it. There was the business card one, but that one didn't work out too well.
That one got changed a little bit. The idea was that every time you meet someone, you have to hand them a business card, and the business card would say something you hate about that person. But then it got brought out that it could potentially be something you don't even know yet because you just met this person. So you could like omnipotently learn immediately the thing you hated the most about someone by handing them this card, which could potentially be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I hate that you're a pedophile. This man's a pedophile." And then it was like, well, then it was a superpower to have the business cards. Then everyone agreed to take it. It was pretty awesome. So sometimes we talk ourselves back around the opposite direction.
That's crazy. What do I get then?
Well, Joe, do you have a scenario? I have one cooked up.
Absolutely not. I spent way too much time thinking about that Halloween candy thing.
Well, then both of you think of a scenario while I'm going, and then we'll get to it.
Okay, I'll think.
All right. So you get all of your student loans paid off, and that's a big weight off your shoulder.
It's tough. Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty big, Hey, so, but the only thing is, if you get your student loans paid off, every day you wake up, you'll be talking in a different accent. All right. So one day you might wake up and hey, it's your friend from the Bronx, and but the next day you wake up, oh geez, you have to talk in an Irish accent, and every day you go around and you're just talking in a different accent. The thing you think this is kind of funny. Oh, it's funny to start, but the thing is, no one's going to take you seriously if you go to some place regularly and each day you show up with a random accent. People are just going to look at you and be like, oh, it's that.
Everyone's going to think you're faking. It'd be like that one girl in my U.S. history class junior year that faked an accent for the entire year.
No.
100%. She faked an Australian accent. She slipped in and out of the Australian accent.
And here's something to make it worse. Anytime you interact with someone who has a heavy accent, you automatically mimic their accent when you talk.
No, that's
going to get you punched. You're going to get punched by somebody.
You do it well. You do it perfectly well. But they're looking at you and they're like, they're not happy. They're not happy with you.
Do I ever, by like sheer grace, get the good old mid-Atlantic accent? Like, do I ever just get like a day of normalcy?
Yeah, that's an accent. Maybe one day a year, maybe one day you land up.
Maybe one day a year I get my normal accent back.
Right, but then the next day you wake up and you're talking in a thick Russian accent. You have to go talk to your friends.
David, I'm gonna take the deal.
You're gonna take it?
How
I'm gonna take it.
Is this for the rest of my life?
Rest of your life, Joe. Here's the thing. It could become like a variety show. Like you could make money off this in Vegas.
Could I though? Because like if it's a 2-hour show, I'm just gonna be some guy who does a really good like singular accent for that 2 hours because it changes once a day. So you pay to come see my show, and it's like, tonight he does a perfect Gambian accent. And then it's like, great, I'm going to make a 2-hour show out of that. Like,
but it would be impressive so good at impressions.
If I could switch, like, on will between impressions, that would be a good show.
You just have to have someone, you just have to have in your ear, like an earbud, have different recordings of different Well, I guess you're not technically talking with them. All right, so you have to bring different celebrities
Bunch
to
of
your
different
show,
people on
and you have to have a
stage.
conversation with them. Like you have to bring
You have to
Tracy Morgan
mimic
up and
the
have a
accents.
conversation with Tracy Morgan.
Oh my
Tracy
God.
Morgan.
Or
It's so
have-
nice to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Except you'd sound like him.
When you bring in Kermit the Frog, and Kermit the Frog says, "Hey, David, how's it going?"
Oh,
Yeah, you could bring Kermit the Frog on stage. You'd be like, "Oh, hi, ho," and you'd be like, "Oh, hi, Kermit."
Hey, how's it going?
nice.
And then
The
you bring in
reason I'm
Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he's like, "Hey, yo, how's it going up in here?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm not throwing away my shot either, bro." And then you go back and forth.
And now it just became a competition to show off accents. Anyways,
I
Camille.
missed this. I missed circa 2018 David and Joe
Okay,
speech.
to be fair, David's the one who taught me how to do the Kermit accent. It's like
Kermit the
a really
Frog
high-
here.
You just raise your
Kermit the
larynx up really
Frog
high.
here.
You just gotta raise your larynx up really high. Blah!
Ah. I try.
Ah.
It's not great.
Ah,
Kermit the Frog here.
why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
That's
Anyways.
pretty
Sort
good.
Are you gonna take the deal?
I am gonna take the deal,
Each
and
day
that's
you wake up with an
because
accent, and if you talk to someone
that's
with a strong
fine with
accent, you
me.
impersonate them. All right.
Because listen, my last flight instructor, he actually like just got a new job, but he was from Missouri or Mississippi. I don't remember. One of the two. I'm
Either
blanking.
way, they're
But
sad.
thick, like heavy draw. And one time I was making fun of him the whole flight, like leedle, ha ha, yeehaw, I'm a Southern, whatever. And when we landed, our final landing, he told me, he was like, I dare you to call up ground and ask to taxi back to parking in a Southern accent. And so I did it, and it was embarrassing, but I lived through it. And that is why I'm taking your deal.
Deal. All right, Joe.
See, I tend to be a sucky pooper on this show because I very rarely take the condition. My methodology tends to be I'm not really that concerned about the student loans that I'm gonna like ruin the rest of my life. I'm
In
usually
this
last for the
economy,
rest of
bold
college, but
statement.
I'm not gonna do the wheel of accents for the rest of my life just to pay
Yeah.
off the student loans.
Boo.
Not a big.
Boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boo. All right. Well, I believe we're running out of time. Oh, excuse me. I believe we're running out of time. So unless
Are you okay?
do either of you?
I came up with one.
All right, Joe.
This
Quickly.
one, I think you're both likely to accept this one, but I still think it's funny. So in order to get your student loans paid off, you have to do one thing. You have to sit in a room with the 5,000-piece Lego Death Star by yourself and then put it all together in one shot by yourself. Except as soon as you're done with it, somebody runs into the room and tips it off the table and breaks it into a million pieces on the floor. You don't get to show it to anybody.
But like that's it, then you're done.
That's it, and then you're done, and the student loans are paid.
See, I want
So
to
you
say
have
I
to
wouldn't
spend
get
like
too attached to it.
you
I
have
wanna
to
say I
spend
wouldn't
like
get too
8
attached to
hours. It'll take you like 8 or 9 hours to build that.
I spent like months on this one Lego like battleship. It was pretty big. Like I would do that. I was a big Lego kid. I'd go for it.
I just thought that it might be it'd be worth it to get your student loans paid, but really, really sucky to spend
would be
that
hurtful.
much time putting it together, and then the second you put the last piece on, somebody's like, "Nyeh," and just knocks it off the table, and you have to watch it shatter on the floor.
But it's a one-time thing, so then you're done.
One-time thing, then you're done. Student loans
Right.
paid.
You leave the building with a case full of money, but tears in your eyes, and
Tears
a
in your
broken
eyes.
heart.
You might anyways.
But I think that's an important lesson to, if you truly love something, you have to be willing to let it go. I think you get your student loans paid off and you get an important lesson about life.
Wow.
Really poetic if you think about it.
I'd
Remind me
take the
to
deal.
never accept any life lessons from you.
It's a good life lesson.
It's a good life lesson, Joe.
The
how he
life lesson
lives.
that if you love something, it's okay for it to just be destroyed right in front of your eyes. Like that's not letting it go. That's just just knocked off the table and it shatters before your eyes. 9 hours of work down the drain.
Well, sometimes you just have to be willing to let the ones you love be shattered into a million pieces. And that's okay. And that's truly okay.
Oh no.
And that's like
I feel bad for your loved ones, David.
It's a little.
Listen, I don't know if this is a hot take, but maybe you're just unable to stop it, and you just have to say, okay.
Well, at any rate, it's somewhere around 9 hours of work and a little bit of trauma to get all of my student loans paid off, so I'd take it.
I'd take it.
If you know the cost,
Yeah.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our time here today. Camille, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's always
Thank you
lovely
for
catching
having
up
me.
with you.
I'm such big fans of you guys.
Oh, stop it. We're big fans of you. You're so cool. You're a pilot.
And you're in engineering now. That raises you up really high on my list of favorite people.
On your list, but in like other people's lists.
I'm aware. My list has to counter out the fact that everyone hates engineers, so I give them bonus points.
Fair enough. I appreciate it.
Is there anything you want to talk about, promote, or say anything about before we head off?
Live honestly.
And honestly live.
That's it.
Wow. Whew. Joe, anything else?
Everyone should check out that Miami University puppet show.
I disagree.
On YouTube. I really want to see the scene with puppets going from screen to screen. That sounds incredible.
Miami OH Center for Performing Arts, Comedy of Errors, episodes 1 through however many.
However many there are.
Love it.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in to our show. This has been Breakdown with Hansen and Brown with our special guest, Camille Steahly. If you want to watch this episode again or want to watch any other episodes, they're all uploaded on YouTube. You can find them on a nifty little playlist under, I believe the YouTube channel is called like Hansen and Brown Productions or something lame like that. Haha, lamp shading. Anyways, I think that's all from us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please remember that it's okay if your Lego Death Star drops, as long as you're getting financial compensation out of it. Work smarter, not harder. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.